All right, everybody. My name is Ashlea Scola. I am with the ACL. Today we're going to be going over lights, camera, and cornhole. We are going to give it some time right now, waiting on some people to arrive. While we're waiting on some people, I can kind of go ahead and give you a little bit of introduction of me. I have been doing ACL, I believe, since 2021 or 22. No, 21. I'm a regional director for Mississippi. I am currently the ACL area manager for the West Side. And also, I manage the Hernando Sliders minor league team. Once I went to ACL Worlds for the first time just as a player, let's just say I went and I've never looked back. So what we do is pretty amazing, and I hope you guys enjoy what we're going to be going over and training for tonight. So give it just a few more minutes. Also, if y'all have any questions or anything during the live video, feel free to drop a comment down in the chat. We'll wait till about 7:05 to get started. Dun, dun, dun. Hi, Daryl. Hope you enjoy tonight's training on lights, camera, and cornhole. I guess also while we were waiting, I can tell you I actually have a little bit of history under my belt with photography and videography. We actually have owned a photography and videography business since 2017. It's called AMPV. So I don't do near as much with phones, but I've come to find out they are great for making reels. So I've learned to use them. I go ahead and just get it started. I know it's at 7:05. I don't want to leave people waiting. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started for everybody because I know more people do jump on later on when they are home relaxing. They jump on and watch these trainings. So again, my name is Ashlea Scola. I am with the ACL and proud to be. We're going to be going over lights, camera, and cornhole today with mobile photography best practices. Today is June 14th, 2025. Starting off with this training, I wanted to say life is a collection of moments. Photographs preserve them. So we have so many things that we capture over time, and that's our way of cherishing them. And something that I truly love about being able to take a photo or video. Not always do well, I probably share it, but later on I can go back and reminisce about it. Today on our agenda, we're going to be going over the purpose of good photos, lighting, angles, phone settings, tools, shot list suggestions, do's and don'ts, and then we're going to wrap it up and recap. The purpose of this training, why good photography matters. This is important in my opinion because, whether it's a cell phone or not a cell phone, then we're focusing on cell phones. Those photos can be used to show what you're doing in cornhole or to highlight your sponsors that might be for that event, for that season. And it's kind of not only your way of showing appreciation, but also your way to gain their sponsorship for the next season or gain more sponsorships. So good photography matters for social media, sponsorships, event promoting. And you don't need a fancy camera, just your phone and a few smart tips. So that's what we're going to be going over today. Lighting is everything. As you can see, I'm talking about natural lighting. You want to avoid dark areas, indoor tips, and the best way that I could, help you guys kind of know about this is when you're setting up your photo booth for the winners. To me, what I like to do is first scale the venue, figure out, where the lighting's at, where do you want to be, because you want to be right there when people show up, right? And then right next to your booth, you also want to make sure that you have your photography or where you're going to be taking the winner's pictures. You want to make sure that also has good lighting and is close to you. So, if you're busy running brackets or whatever and you need to go snap a photo, it's good lighting and also it's very close to you. So you're not having to run all the way across the other venue. So I kind of work with that and knowing where I want to set up, kind of go off that. Where is the light at when I walk in? Natural light's going to be your best one because think about it, when the sun is super bright and beaming through a window, it just kind of brightens someone's face if they're on the inside. So this is going to be really good to look at. Natural lighting, where's the window at? You want to avoid dark areas. So if there's lots of lights above you that are pointing down, you kind of want to avoid that and look for an area where your setup can be here to the lights. So the lights can still beam towards the faces of the winners. Indoor tips. Take full advantage of great window lighting for your winner pictures. You can get a ring light or a stick, like an LED stick light. These are very helpful and can be found on Amazon. These give just a little bit of brightness to your players, whether it's dark, whether they have a hat on. I wanted to kind of use this as an example today. I have currently right now have a light right here and a light on the side. And it just kind of shows the features of the person or the player that might be taking the winner photos. Next up, suggestions for some lighting. These right here is what I found on Amazon. Now, I also can suggest a ring light, but to me, the ring light is good for like up close and personal or doing, makeup or whatnot. But for this event and for Cornhole, I found these two right here. These are tall, just pointy little sticks. And what you would do if you were to buy these is say this is your photo area for the winners, right? Each one I would put on the corner of it. That way it's beaming towards the winner and you have your banner in the background and it gives them just a little bit of a glow. And I can provide these links later on too as well for you guys, so you can go check them out. And this is not a must, this is just an option and something to help you guys. I think currently they have one right now on sale for $79.99 and then another one on sale for $59.99. The $59.99 one, I'm pretty sure you would need battery packs for. And sometimes that might be easier. That way, if you don't have an outlet to plug it into, it's super convenient to plug in a battery pack. When you're ready to use it, cut that battery pack on and off whenever it's time to take those photos. Next up, we're going to talk about angles. Best angles for cornhole. Side angle of a thrower in action. Bird eyes view of boards and bags for content. Down low action shots from board height. And roll up thirds. Use grid lines. Place your subject off center. Framing. Include relevant background such as crowd, logo, and event banners. This is another way to showcase your sponsors. And also be sure the winners are in the center of the backdrop. So whenever I take winner photos, what I like to do is make sure they are dead center. Typically, they kind of like to go to the side. But I'm like, all right, guys, let's wiggle on over or take a step over. And then that way they're centered, because whether your shot's wide or whether you're close up, you can really just put them right there dead center and everything looks beautiful. And I provided here an example. I believe we took this at Myrtle Beach. And this is a shot of some winners and their prizes and trophies. And also I probably gave them just a little bit of lighting. But if you're crooked with your photo, don't forget you can adjust in your phone settings and give that photo an extra pop or crop. Speaking of phone settings, right now we're going to go over camera tips, how to avoid zoom, burst mode, live photos, and editing apps. So number one key is when you're going up to take a photo, and something I always do, you want to give your phone, just wipe the back of the lens off for us. What's that going to do? It's going to get rid of the smudges that you might see, the interference or a scratch. You want to make sure those are wiped away so you can take a beautiful, clear photo. And then for your focus, so what you can do for photos is when you're zooming in, or not zooming in, but when you have your photo open, you can typically tap the subject that you want to focus on. And then also on that subject, there's a yellow box. I know for iPhones, I'm not really sure about Galaxies, but on iPhones, you can touch the subject and then it's a yellow box and you actually push up. That will lighten the exposure of the photo. Therefore, it also lighten up the face of the player. That way it's not dark and gloomy. Now, if it is dark and gloomy, you can always probably go back and edit it. It just won't look near as clean and focused. Yes, and you want to avoid try to zoom. It's not always the cleanest photo. What you want to do typically is just take a couple steps towards what you want to capture, and then click on their face. If you need to turn up the exposure, take that yellow box and move it up, and it'll brighten everything up. Burst mode and live photos. So these are very handy on your cell phone. As you can see, the image that I provided here, it says live. You can leave that live, and then what it's going to do is when you can hold it down, you can actually see where the bag's released. Is it focused in? Can you do a boomerang with it? These are all great pieces that you can use for social media content and much, much more. Editing apps. Here's our couple suggestions here. You can use Lightroom Mobile, Snapseed, Visco. And again, you just want your simple edits. You just want them brightened, sharp, and cropped. And also, if you do have an iPhone, there are also options within your phone as well. Here's an example. I took a screenshot actually of this image that was provided that I had in my phone. And if you click on the image and kind of pull up, it'll bring up these features. And then the one that looks like a sandwich with 1, 2, 3 lines, you click on that to edit. And then this will pop up right here talking about brightness. And then you can do contrast. You can do sharpness, crop. The little square is going to be your crop button. So you can crop it first if you want to see where you want it, where the angle needs to be. And then there's also exposure for turning your brightness up. There's actually also a simple brightness. Sometimes I do both of those. I'll turn the exposure up just a little bit first. Then I'll go up with the brightness, and then I'll put some contrast in there just so it's not too washed out and still has a little bit of a pop. And then if you scroll all the way on your phone this way to the right, you will see where there's a sharpen tool. This tool is going to help really give your photo some definition, especially if it's blurry and you only took one photo. Well, this tool can be very handy. If it is very blurry and you have to use the sharpen tool, there's also a noise tool that is also, I'm pretty sure it's right next to it. And what you want to do is you can turn down the noise a lot so it doesn't look so grainy. Next up is going to be some shot suggestions. List shot suggestions. Now, this is very handy. You can come back and look at it. You don't have to use it. But venue setup and signage, player portraits, close-ups of boards and bags, action shots mid-throw, crowd reactions and celebrations, winner photos with brackets, scoreboards, sponsor logos in the background. Now, I know a lot of people do take a lot of these photos, but sometimes we do forget when we're getting in the moment of these events. But this is sometimes one of my favorite things to do at my events is I will snap photos, before, during, and then if I see someone, walking up looking at a board to see what their next shot or play should be, I whip out my phone real quick and I run over there and snap it. That way, I have it for later on. If you see people high-fiving each other, again, you can go back and edit these later on if you do have to zoom in or if it's a little bit dark. So don't worry about that. And also during winter picks, I will always snap one of them. And to cherish the moment and throw a little fun in there, always flip the camera around with the little circle button and snap a selfie with all of us. Just makes it fun, and that gives them a little bit, I guess you could say, of my personality with them. I want to make sure they feel, welcomed, they're having fun, and like they achieved something. Next, I just have a couple examples of crowd and venue. These are some from our regional, some from local events, and just a little bit of example to show you guys. Do's and don'ts. Do take more photos than you think you'll need. Get different angles, distances, and then also keep your lens clean because it'll be very easy to put your hand on the back of your phone, give it more smudges. So just give it a little clean off and then make sure you're golden. Like I think I have a scratch now. Then flip it around and you'll be good to go. And capture those sponsors. This is, again, very huge because you could get sponsors for next year or the next event that you may have. And especially if they are, purchasing boards or doing a lot for your club, then you want to also show your appreciation by putting their name out there, whether it's on social media or locally. Don't. All right, here's some don'ts that we don't want to do. Use flash unless absolutely unnecessary. Upload blurry or pixelated images. Forget to double check for photo bombers. Sometimes photo bombers is fun, but you want to make sure like your winner's pics are really great, clean, and efficient. And just to give you guys some before and afters, these three over here on the right side are just some that we took, and you can kind of see some little edits that I did just to brighten them up. Over here on the left side, you can see where I had the top image. It was really wide. You can see a lot of extra space that you don't want, and we call that negative space. And then below it, you can actually see the image where I brightened it a little bit, gave it a little contrast, not too much. And I actually even, I think, up to its black point. That way it gives it a little bit more tone. And I also gave it, so if you go to warm coloring, you can take it to make your photo more warm, which is going to be a yellow tone, or cooler, which gives it more of a blue tone and takes out those yellows. I did that as well to this photo. And then I also wanted to show you guys how I used it as a flyer for a local Thursday night event. Just shows everybody coming together, having fun. We had a bunch of new players here and some we hadn't seen in a while. So I was like, real quick, everybody. Oh, and it was a player's birthday as well. So to celebrate that, we snapped a quick pic, and some people were missing, but that's all right. So when you can take these good photos, you can also use them for social media for putting your events out there and even recognizing other people or what you may have coming up next. And as you can see, the next image over, this is a group of our kids that have been coming seeing us since about July. Always snap a lot of them because they like to do goofy faces or give the one next to them that beat them, kind of like look. But anyway, this is the one I chose to show you guys of an example for a before and after. The top one here, as you can see, is raw. It's yellow toned. So what I did in the lower image, and it's actually not cropped, I just had to crop it to make it fit here. In the lower image, I also took this one. I actually just copied and pasted the settings that I had from the other, from this photo to the left onto this photo from the right. And that's a simple, easy fix that you can do within your cell phone by clicking the three dots in the top right corner. It drops down. You want to hit copy edits. When you go to the image that you want to edit, do the same thing, three dots in the top right corner, it drops down, and then you want to click paste edits. And voila, your photos are staying consistent, and sometimes it's not always consistent depending on whether you're inside or outside, but you can easily adjust those with the warm tone, exposure, and brightness. So those are probably going to be your main keys that you want to remember when brightening your photo is exposure, brightness, and then sometimes contrast, and then make sure you give it a nice little crop if needed. And that's kind of a wrap. So just to recap, we went over lighting, angles, and actions. I encourage you guys to practice at your next event. Share social media hashtags or emails for submissions. Open for a Q&A. And then capture those candid moments too. To have a chair. Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I have a typo? I may have. Basically, what I'm saying is capture those candid moments because it's something that you can cherish forever. You might forget about it, but one day you'll come back and look at it and be able to relive the moment. And again, guys, just kind of wanted to go back to the three main keys that you should remember while taking phone photography is your lighting. When you walk in a room, where's the lighting coming from? Where's going to be the best angle to set up your photo booth? When I say photo booth, I mean like your backdrop for the winner picks. And you can get as fancy as you want with those. You can add balloons to the side. I believe I had some in one of my images. Actually, go back to that. Let's see here. There it is. As you can see with your winter photos, right here, this we were celebrating the Hernando Sliders. It was July, the last regional of last season. Everyone got their jersey. We had a little jersey ceremony, and we also did awards for 662 Cornhole for our season for that season. And so I wanted to get fancy with it. It was a celebration. I believe it was even my son's birthday. And so we got a balloon arch going on right here with a plain, simple backdrop. And everyone got in front of it, and it was just added a little pop to the event itself. So again, lights, and then you want to make sure your angle's good. You don't want to be looking down. You don't want to be down low. You want to simply be right there, as you can see, even with this image here. And action. So action is going to be your edits. So that's another one. So lights, angles, and action. So with action, you want to make sure you're putting in the work of brightening it. You want to start off with exposure. Turn it up just a little bit. You want to put a little bit of contrast in it. And then you can turn up the brightness. And then if it needs a crop, give it a crop. If your photo is too warm, such as yellow, you want to go to the warm button in the edits. And you want to drag it over till the blue, which means cooler. If it's too blue, you want to drag it over to the yellow, which will make it warmer. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll just sit around and see if anyone has any questions for just a minute. And if not, we'll hop on off and stay tuned for the next ACL training. We'll just wait just a few minutes here. No one has any comments or anything, then we'll hop on off. Also, if you guys have any questions, feel free. You can always reach out to me as well, and I'd be glad to help you out, whether it's a reference for someone coming to do some balloons for you, which I am in Mississippi, but I also can Google around, and I do weddings, so I can have several references I can give you. I see I have a new person. Welcome. Wait just a few more seconds and we'll hop on off. All right, guys. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this video for lights, camera, and cornhole for mobile photography best practices. Again, don't forget your lights, your angle, and then put in the action of giving it a little pop or crop. Thank you.